Kalipso is an application generator. It allows us to create applications for mobile devices without needing to code. So I don't need to be a developer. What it means is I don't need to know what C# is, what Visual Basic, C++, Java, etc. I don't need to know what that is in order to create a mobile application using Kalipso. And I can create these applications for most, if not all, of Datalogic devices in the mobile area. So this is also a multi-platform application. So we still support the old Windows CE and Windows mobile devices with this application generator. Also the new Windows 10 devices, the new Android or an iOS device if necessary. So in this case, the application I'm going to create for this Memor 20 device that I have with me, the same application would run, for example, in an iOS device if it was necessary. So this application generator, Kalipso Studio, allows us to work with many different types of technologies. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I just want to give you a small overview of some of the main technologies that you can use with Kalipso. You can easily connect to databases, and we mainly work with ODBC or AllIDB. So it means that almost any database server is accessible as long as it has a driver, an ODBC driver or AllIDB driver. Same thing with web services. It's very easy to use REST, SOAP, XML-based, JSON-based web services using our platform. Connectivity is also not an issue. We support the different types of options using Wi-Fi if we're creating indoor applications for warehouses. If we're talking to a mobile printer, I can use Bluetooth. If we're making an outdoor application, we can use the mobile network to connect to the server, etc., etc. Also included in the platform, all the tools that we need for data acquisition, like barcode scanning, RFID, also NFC if necessary, taking photos, recording voice, etc. A lot of options are available in the platform. I'm going to show you some of them in this demo. Printing also available, perfectly integrated in the platform. I can create reports for printing, to generate a PDF, to send to a mobile printer. I can generate a PDF and email that PDF. I'm going to show you during the presentation one of these cases, one example of doing this. And there are a lot of more options that are available with the platform. As I already said, I can create an application, and it's multi-platform, multi-device. I can create an application for smartphone, for tablet, for PC if necessary. We do have customers that create applications for desktop with Kalipso, although our focus, like I said, is mobility, smartphones, rugged devices for warehouses, tablets, etc. And also, like I said, most, if not all, of Datalogic devices are supported by Kalipso. We still have the old Windows devices, Windows CE and mobile, like you can see on the left, but all the new Android devices are currently supported, and tablets also, if necessary. Before I get started, I just want to show you some examples of applications that have been created with Kalipso by our partners, to give you an idea that you can make very beautiful apps with Kalipso. We give you some styles, we give you some icons, we give you some templates, and you can create apps for both smartphones and for tablets that look good, are very nice for our customers. So let's go back to the live demo because you're tired of PowerPoints. So I'm going to create, like I said, an application from scratch. I'm going to start with a new project, and I'm going to create a proof of delivery application. from scratch, and I'm going to be connected to an SQL database, but I will use a driver, so this can be any database server, where I will read the users, the orders, the tasks, the products that I have to deliver, and I will be using this data for this demo. Although there are other mechanisms to get data, like I said, we can use web services, or we can use files directly, CSV files to export and import data. There are a lot of options. So I will start by creating a new project in Kalipso. And as you can see, it's asking me what type of device I'm targeting. If I'm targeting a smartphone, a tablet, an old Windows CE device, desktop, or any other form factor that I need to create. So I'm going to use a smartphone, and I can also select a style for my user interface. I will select this style, for example, but you can create your own styles if you want to. If you're good with design, we have a style editor in Kalipso. We also have a plugin for Adobe XD for creating styles. And basically, what's asking me is to give it a name to my project. So I gave a name to my project. I will select a language, but I can start and create a multi-language application very easily if I need with Kalipso. I can say that also I'm going to use Portuguese for this app and other languages if I need to. And I'll say that I'll save this project in this folder, and I'm going to create it. So Kalipso has created all the necessary resources. And as you see, I did not worry about the specific type of device that I'm going to use. I just said I'm going to use a smartphone. And Kalipso will handle all the necessary adjustments, resizings to the actual device where the application will be running. In this case, I will be executing this application in a Memor 20 device, but I never said Kalipso that it was a Memor 20 device. Kalipso will handle all the resizing for me. I don't need to worry about it. So I have a project. Let's start by creating a new window, a new form for my application, my proof of delivery. So I will start by creating a form that will be used to make a login. The user will authenticate itself with a login screen. So I will create a new window, and I can make a window from scratch, or I can use one of the templates that we already have available in Kalipso. That, for example, we have a template for a login screen, so I'm going to use this, and it will already put the normal user interface and controls required for creating a login screen. So I have a new form, it's already created, and this application is already a valid application. I can already execute this application if I want to. For example, I have a simulator here. In Kalipso, we have a simulator. I can start this application. And just like this application is ready to run. Okay? So it's very easy to start making this work. And if I also want to run this application, like you see, I run it on my PC in my simulator. But now I want to test this application without doing anything on my Memor 20 device that I have with me. So I'm going to show you the screen from my device, from my Memor 20. I think you can see it here on the left. So in Kalipso, I'm going to use this option, test on device, on an Android device. It seems I lost connection with my device. Just 1 second, please. Okay. So as you can see, this application, I have not done anything, changed anything, and it's running on the Memor 20 device in full screen mode. This is actually a very high resolution, high definition screen that I have on the Memor 20 device. It's a big screen, it's very, very nice device. And I didn't change anything and my app is running. So as you can see, the same application will run on any form factor device that I come up to use. So let's do something else. Let's go a little bit further and see how do we make some logic into a Kalipso application. Let's say I will create another window. And this time I'll make an empty window so you can see how I build an application for myself, a window for myself if I want to. Let's say I will create this window where I will show the tasks, the deliveries that our user has to do after he logs in the application. So I will use this window. First thing, I will give a name so I know what it is. This is my form for the tasks. Also should change the title here maybe to tasks. And now that my application has two windows, let's start making this work. So how do I program using Kalipso? Very easy. Let's say that on this button here, I want to click on it and I want to open this window. So I go to the button and I go here to the button events. As you can see on a button, I can say what do I want to do when the user clicks on it or right clicks on it. Actually on an Android device, I don't have a right click, but I have a tap and hold, but it's the same concept. So it's very easy. I'm going to say that when I click on this button, I want to show a form. So I'm going to select this option, show a form. Show the tasks form. And that's it. This button is finished. It's ready to run. Before testing my app, I'm just going to program this button so I can go back to the login screen. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say that when the user clicks on this button, what I want to do is to close the form. And it's done. I can do the same thing here on the left. I can say that when I click it, I want to close it. And it's done. My application now is ready to work. I'm going to test it. And now, if I click on the login button, I've just opened the new tasks form that it's still empty, but it's working. My application is now working. And if I press back, I can press back again, and the application closed. Let's do the same test on my Memor 20 device, just to confirm. Oops, sorry. So now I'm going to click on the login. I'm seeing the tasks window that I'm not finished, and I can go back, and I can go back if I want. So it's really this simple to make an application. And before I go on, in the beginning of my project, I said this would be a project that would be in English and Portuguese. So how can I make this application in two languages? For example, this text here, enter your credentials. I'm going to say that in English, this is the text, but in Portuguese, I wanted to say this. And that's it. I can do the same for everything that's on the screen. For example, username. Username in Portuguese, utilizador. And like this, I can make my application work in both languages or in more languages. Actually, when we are creating applications, this is not how we do it. It would be probably much easier for me to make my application only in English, and then later in Kalipso, I can add new languages and translate from English to Portuguese. We have Google Translator integration, Bing's translator integration, so we can ask Google or Bing to translate the application for us, and then we can just check if the translation was done in case by case, like in a grid that we have access to, fix what was bad, incorrectly translated, and we have the application in another language. Okay, so it's also very simple to make our application work in many languages, because here in Europe we have a lot of languages. It's not like in the United States, like it's English and maybe Spanish. Here in Europe there are lots and lots of languages that we need to worry about. Okay, let's go on. So for now the application is a little bit stupid. For example, I click on the login button and I show this window, but I actually want to check if this is a valid user. So I'm going to connect to a database with Kalipso now. Kalipso Studio includes this tool, this service that we call MIS Communicator. I'm not going to go through details about it in this demo, in this presentation, just to tell you what it does. This is like a gateway service that all of our devices will use to talk with the database that we are going to be connected to. And I can also use this if I need to transfer files to a PC, to get files from a PC onto the device if necessary, and several other options that are available using this gateway. For example, start an application to read a text file that I send to the server and import it to our software, to our warehouse system. But I'm not going through the details about this, okay? So this is what will give the devices access to the database. So basically, in my application in Kalipso, I just need to say, where is MIS Communicator? I give it some name, it's not important. I'm going to use the password that I use with my PC. I'm just going to say what it is, the IP address where it's available. Okay, so now my application knows where is the gateway service. All I need to do now is start working with databases. So I go to database and connect to a new database. So it's easier if I use OLEDB. I have a local SQL server on my PC that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this database. And I'm going to use the login to access my server. And that's it, I'm connected to a database. Now Kalipso allows me to specify how will this work. Will it be online or offline? So I can make an application with Kalipso. If it's online, the device will actually have no database locally. It will be connected directly to SQL server in this case, and access the data on the server. This is used very oftenly, very frequently, if I'm working on a warehouse where I have a cool Wi-Fi coverage, and I can use the database directly. If I don't have a connection all the time, I can make applications in offline mode and have synchronization between the data. For now, I will use an online mode. So I'm connected to a SQL server, and I will say, okay, from this database that I've connected to, what am I going to use? I don't need all the tables. I need the orders. I need maybe the users to perform a login, the products, maybe the customers. If I need more tables, I can come back and add new tables later. So Kalipso is showing me the data structure on the server. I don't need to worry about this. So I'm good to go. I'm connected to a database, and all of these tables are available to me. So first thing, I want to click on the login button and check if this is a good user, a valid user. So I'm going to say that when I click on it, I want to go to the database and check if there's a record with this login. So I'm going to do a select on the database. And I'm going to say, from the users table, get the password into a variable. We have variables in Kalipso. I'm just going to give it a name. So my variable will store the password from the database, where the login equals to the input username. Okay, so now what do I need to do? I need to check if something was returned or not, because if nothing was returned, it means this user doesn't exist. So I'm going to create a condition, an if. If record count is 0, it means the user doesn't exist. So I'm going to show a message. The user does not exist. And if the user exists, I'm going to check if the password is okay. So I'm going to do another if. If the password equals the input password, for now I'm going to show the tasks form if the password is okay. If not, I'm going to copy this error message here and change it. The password is incorrect. So I think I'm good to go. I can test this application and see if I can do a valid login in the server. Let's test the application again. And I'm going to put something invalid here. And it says the user does not exist. That's correct. Now I'm going to put my username and test again. Okay, now I have an incorrect password. Let's use the correct password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's accepted. I have now access to the tasks window that I'm going to finish next to show the tasks that the user has to do. But as you can see, all the logic in Kalipso is very easy to implement. I don't have to program. I just need to do and drag and drop the action that I want into the event to make my application logic. Okay. So next step, I want to show the tasks that the user has to do. I have the login working. So in this window, I want to show the content of the orders table that I have here on the database. So I want to show this to the user. I'm going to use, we have two main ways of showing data from records on a table. We have Looper, that it gives us a much more modern user interface. And then later I will use the grid, the table, to show in a grid format. So I'm going to use a looper, call it looper tasks. And this is where the data from each record will be displayed. So I have tasks to do, I have orders to deliver. What do I want to show to the user? Okay, for each order, I would like to show, for example, the order number. So I'm going to put a label here with the order number. Let's call it label order number. Can make it a little bit bigger and in bold. It's important, the order number. Okay, so I'm going to do another label to show the customer name. Let's say the label name. Let's also make this bigger and bold. Let's put some text in here to help us see how it will show. For example, Philippe, and I can put here in the order number, like order number 1. Okay, I'm showing the order, the customer name. Let's show the address where the order is to be delivered. So another label, call it label address. It will show here the address, or some text to help me see how it will look. A label showing the city. Let's call it label city. Short. Okay. Okay. What else could I show here? Maybe the customer phone number. I'm going to put here the label. Let's call it label phone to show the phone number if I need to call the customer. I'm going to make it clickable. It will be cool. I'm going to change, for example, to a blue. So I will program in a minute that when the user clicks on this, it will make a phone call to the customer. Because, for example, the Memor 20 device, it's actually dual SIM. I can have 2 SIM cards on the Memor 20. I can use it as a work phone with a SIM card from my company. I can also have my personal SIM card there if I need to. And if it has a SIM card, I can just click on the phone number and make the phone call to the customer. Okay. I also make this maybe right aligned. Okay. Maybe one more thing. I'm going to add an image here where the user can click and show Google Maps with turn-by-turn navigation to help me get to this customer. So in Kalipso, we do provide several icons with the platform, although you can use any image that you want. We have many that you can use. For example, let's say I want to use a car. And I want to use this car. When I click on this image, I want to open Google Maps with the driving directions. We have several image sizes. I'm going to use a big one. Yeah, today we are using high definition devices like the Memor 20. So I want to use a big image so the application looks good on this high definition screen that the Memor 20 has. So I'm going to drag this image to my application. Okay, so now I want to see, sorry. Okay, and I can put this here. So when the user clicks on the car, I want to show Google Maps. Okay, I think it's good for now, or maybe I'm going to add a line here to separate each record. I'm going to make this a little bit more user-friendly. I'm going to create a line. I'm going to make it wider, maybe. Okay, I can do it with my mouse, it's easier. Okay, so I want to use this line here to separate. It will look good like this. Okay, I think it looks well now. So now if you're asking, okay, how will this show what's on the database? It's very easy. I'm going to say that the content will be something from the table on the database, from the orders table. And what do I want to do? Well, I want to show the order number here in label name, label order number. I also want to show the customer name in this label. I want to show the address here. I want to show the city in here and the phone number. Yes, the phone number, if I'm not forgetting anything, in the label phone. Okay. So that's it. I'm connected to the database. I'm just going to say that I want to display the data here when this form opens. So if I go to the code of the form, and I'm going to say when this form opens, what I want to do is to refresh the looper with tasks. And that's it. If I've not forgotten anything, I can test this application again. I'm going to make the login. And I have my tasks, as you can see. One to Georgia, Philippe, Arsenio, with the addresses, the phone numbers. Let's see this on the Memor 20 device because it will look much better. It's a good device. If I test the same application without changing anything, now on my Memor device, I can also log in, put the password, and I have my tasks, what I need to do for the day. Okay, very easy. So let's program in Kalipso these two options. I want to click in this blue label with the phone number and make a phone call, and I want to click on the car and call Google Maps to drive with the directions to drive to the address here on the left, Avenida da Liberdade, Lisboa. Okay, so it's very easy. I'm going to say in Kalipso, what do I want to do when I click here? Well, when I click here, I want to make a phone call to the number that's on the label phone and the name of the person here. Okay, that's it. This Memor device I have here, I did not put in a SIM card, so I cannot make phone calls. But if I do have a SIM card on the device, it's as easy as this. I'm just going to make phone call. Okay, first button is done. It's programmed. Now I'm going to program this button. I want to show directions to the address here on the left. Well, it's easy. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can show you. Okay. This is the documentation from Google Maps. Okay, you don't need to worry about what you're seeing here. It's very easy explanation. They tell you what you can do. Make a search, go for a direction. I want to go for a direction. I'm going to use this option. It has some explanations here. You don't need to go into these details, but basically I can see that they use commas to separate the address and the city, etc. And they have examples here. How can I do it? So I'm just going to copy this to Kalipso. And I'm going to say that when I click here, I want to run a command. So we have something in Kalipso called shell execute that's run something for me. Well, I want to run this. I want to invoke this address. I'm going to make it even more simple. I don't want to specify the origin because the origin is where I'm currently at. It's my current position. I just want to specify the destination. So I'm going to say the destination is the label address. I'm going to put a comma to separate and the label city. So this is what I want to do when I click on that image. And that's it. Now, if I test the application again on the Memor 20, I'm going to make a small change in my application so I don't have to always type in the login. I'm going to say, so that we can go a little bit faster in our demo, that the default value will be Philippe and the default password will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we don't lose time during the demo, always typing in my credentials. So if I now log in and I press on this car to Lisboa, to Lisbon, I'm in the middle of Portugal, so Lisbon is to the south. I'm going to click, and you can see that now I am in Google Maps with the driving directions from my current location south into Lisbon. If I go back, and now I click here in Oporto, that it's north of my position, I click on the car. Now I have driving directions from my current location into north to Oporto. So, and I can press start, and now I have turn-by-turn navigation using Google Maps. So it's really this easy to call Google Maps from Kalipso to have driving directions. And then I can go back to my application. So very easy to do with Kalipso, invoking something from Google Maps. Back to our app, I'm going to make this bigger to fill in the entire screen. Okay, so we're almost done. I can do login in my screen. I can see the tasks, the deliveries that I have to do. Now I want to click on a delivery and see the product, what I have to deliver to a particular customer. Okay, so I'm going to create another window, new form. Also from scratch to show you how easy it is to put a grid here with Kalipso. Just going to give it a name. It's form products. Also putting here the title. Now I'm going to program the back button. Very easy. I'm going to say when I click there, I simply want to close the form. Okay, now I want to show here a grid. I can put a grid manually, but it's even easier if I just go to the database and drag the table here into the form. And so I want to show a table. And what do I want to show? I want to show the product, the quantity, and the delivered quantity. Okay, this is what I want to show. So I have a grid. Another way, in here, we saw how to use a looper to use a more modern user interface. Here I'm going to use a grid to show a more traditional user interface, a simple grid with data. So I can do, maybe I'm going to add another column here. Product code maybe is not good enough. I'm also going to put here the product description, the product name. So I'm going to add a new column here. I'm going to say show the name of the product. So I go to say this displays from the products table the name. Okay, going to move up. Good. So now I can see the product, the code, the name, the quantity, and the delivered quantity. We are almost finished, but I still need to filter the data here with the order on the initial window where I click. So if I click on order number 1, I want to see the products from order number 1. So first things I'm going to do is to create a new variable here in this window. I'm going to call it order number. I'm going to say this table will be filtered. So I'm going to put a filter, and I say I only want to show where the order number equals this variable. And I'm also going to connect the orders with the orders table with the products table, because I'm showing records from both tables. Okay, it's done. So this form is ready. I'm going to say that when it opens, I also want to fill in this data. Very easy. I'm going to say when the form opens, I want to refresh order lines. And to finish, I'm going to say when I click here, when I click, I want to open the form products, where I have more products. And I'm going to pass a variable to that form. I'm going to fill in the order number variable with the label order number. And if I did not forget anything, it should work. Let's test it. So already the data here, I'm going to press login. I'm going to select the first order, and I have 3 products to deliver. Okay, you see it's working. If I go back, select the other order, this only has 1 product for delivery. Okay, I'm going to change this title, it's not very good. But as you can see, this is all working. If I press here, this is an empty order. Maybe on the database there's nothing. This is a dummy database that I have. But as I click on each order, I can see the products. So let's just change the title from the last column. It's not very good. Just put deliver. Okay. So we are almost finished. Our application is looking good. And now, since I have my Memor 20 device, that's the device that the user will have with him, let's say he's going to scan the barcodes. When he's delivering, he's going to scan the barcodes on the boxes to confirm he's delivering the correct box, the correct product to the customer. I'm going to share my screen with you. My camera, I don't think it was showing before. Let me see. Okay, I think you can see me. Okay. So this is my Memor 20 device, okay, that I'm showing here with visor, the screen, but this is the Memor 20 device I'm using for this demo. And I have several barcodes here that I'm going to scan to simulate that I'm scanning a box and delivering a product to my customer. So what do I want to do? I'm using Kalipso, and we have Datalogic SDKs built, integrated into our platform. So I'm not going to use keyboard emulation. I'm not going to put a text box on this screen, put the cursor on that text box, and expect that the user scans something into the text box that currently has the focus. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to connect to the Datalogic device, to the Datalogic barcode scanner, and control it myself. It's very easy to do this with Kalipso. So how do I do this? I'm going to say that on this window, after the user logs in, I want to connect to the Datalogic barcode scanner. It's very easy, same concept. I'm going to say that when the form opens, I want to connect to the Datalogic scanner. Okay, I'm connected. I'm also going to do another thing. I'm going to disable the scanner. Why am I disabling the scanner? Because when the user is in the tasks, I don't want him to be able to scan anything. Okay, so I've just disabled the scanner. And if the form closes, I'm going to release it, Datalogic disconnect. Okay, so when I log in, I connect to the scanner, I disable it, and the user, while he's looking at the tasks, cannot scan anything. When I go to the products, now I'm going to enable the scanner. So it's very easy. I'm going to say, if this form opens, or when it opens, I want to enable the scanner. I'm going to give a name. I'm going to say, okay, in this variable called barcode, save the barcode that was scanned with the device. I can also say in this variable, scan the barcode type, save the barcode type, because with Kalipso, I can know the string, the data that was scanned, but I can also know what is the type of barcode, if it's code 39, code 128, interleaved, etc. So I can know what type of code was scanned if I need to. So that's it. When the form opens, the scanner is enabled. And I'm going to say when I get out of this form, I want to disable it again, so the user cannot use it anymore. Okay? We have higher levels of control of the scanner if I need to. For example, let's say that the box that the user is delivering has several barcodes, but I want him to scan a code 39. That's the barcode I want him to scan. So I could say, if I needed to, that on the Datalogic scanner, I only want code 39 to be available. Nothing else will be available for the user to scan. If he tries to scan something else, it won't work. Okay, so we can, with Kalipso, go into a higher level of control of the scanner if we need to. Okay, very easy. So once more, I think our application is ready to test again, and I'm going to see if I have actual control on the scanner or not. Let's test the application again on our Memor device. So I think you can see me. Okay, I have the device here. If you see, I'm going to press the scan button. Nothing happens. You see, the light doesn't turn on. The scanner is not working. But if I go inside an order, okay, I'm pressing the button, and now the scanner is working. Okay, if I go back, it's not working anymore. Okay, so I have full control of the scanner, and he's only working when I'm inside a task. Okay, another thing that will happen, I'm going to scan barcodes, and you see nothing is happening in my application because I'm not using keyboard emulation. I'm not sending the scanned data to the keyboard. Well, I have not done anything, so nothing is happening. So to finish, I need to say, what do I want to do when I scan a barcode? Let's do that. Let's say Kalipso. Okay, in this window, I'm going to add a new event for barcode scanning. And I'm going to say, okay, when a barcode is scanned, what do I want to do? Well, first thing, I think I'm going to check if the barcode I scanned is a valid product on my database. So I'm going to make a select on the database. And now I'm going to the products table, and I want to get the product code. I'm going to give a name also to this variable, product code. I want to get the product code where the barcode equals the variable that contains the barcode I have just scanned. Okay, so now what do I need to do? Check if something was returned, like when I made the login. I'm going to make an if record count equals 0. I'm going to give an error to the user. I'm going to tell him the product was not found. If the product is found, maybe I should make another validation. I'm going to check if this product is for the order that I am currently using. So I'm going to do another select on the database. So I go to the order lines. I'm going to get the current quantity into another variable. Where the order number is equal to the variable that has my current order number, and the product equals to the variable with the product code. Okay. Now I'm going to do another copy paste, and you can see something cool in Kalipso. I can actually select non-consecutive lines, copy, paste. Okay. So I check if this product exists on the database on this order, and if it doesn't, I'm going to change the error message, and I'm going to say product is not on this order. Okay, but if it is, I want to increment the delivered quantity. I want to put +1 in the quantity on the database. So this time I want to do an update. I'm going to do an update, and I'm going to update the order lines. I'm only going to change this column. I'm going to say I want the quantity to be the current quantity +1. Where the order number, same thing, current order number, and the product is the current product. Okay, so the database is updated. So I'm just going to say also refresh my screen, refresh the table with the order lines, so I can see the updated quantity. And it's finished. Let's test our application again. So back to our Memor 20 device. I'm going to log in. I'm going to select a task. Okay. First thing, I'm going to scan a product that doesn't exist. And you see, I got the error message, the product was not found. Now I'm going to try to scan a product that's not on the order. And I got the other message saying, oh, this product is not on the order. But if I scan a good product, it should increment the quantity. You see, on the list, on the grid, it's incrementing the quantities on the products that I'm scanning. Okay, I'm not using keyword emulation. I'm controlling the scanner, and I'm using it without the user have to put the focus, the cursor, blinking on the text box. Okay, I have full control on the device. And it's really as simple as this. I now just made an application that allows me to see my tasks. I select the task. Now I'm able to scan the products on the barcodes on the boxes I'm delivering. Maybe I'm going to put another button to finish this order. Before I do that, I'm going to show you something that that's a bit cool. Okay, I'm not going to talk much about that in this presentation about voice. Kalipso also has voice integrated. I'm not going through the details and how it works. I just want to show you that to use voice with Kalipso, it's still very, very, very easy to do. So just a very small sample on voice. Let's say that here, when I scan a product code, I want the device to tell me by voice the name of the product. So I don't need to look. If it tells me the name of the product, then I know it's the correct product. Okay, let's change our application to do that, and we'll see how easy it is. So barcode scanned. when I scan a barcode, I want to say the name of the product. Well, to say the name of the product, I need to get it from the database. I only retrieved the product code when I made this select. I'm going to retrieve also the product name and put it in another variable. Okay. So now I have the product name. What I want to do is here, if this is a valid product, I'm going to use a voice message. And the content of this voice message will be the name of the product. Okay, it's finished. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to work with voice using Kalipso. Let's test the application again on the Memor device. Okay, I'm going to log in. I'm going to select a task. I'm going to try to scan the first.
Coca-Cola.
I think you can hear it. It's not very loud, the sound, but okay. But I think you can hear it.
Coca-Cola. Pepsi-Cola. Carrot. Coca-Cola.
Okay, so now my application is also using voice to tell the user what he has just scanned. Okay, it's very, very easy to use voice with Kalipso, but I'm not going through many details on that now. If you need more details, more information about this, you can call us and contact us, and we'll talk about it if necessary.
Philip, sorry to interrupt, because I just realized that some people are saying that this webinar will be for 1 hour, and actually it was for 1 hour and a half. So it was a mistake from our side when sending the invites. I'm really sorry, I apologize for that. But anyway, if anyone needs to leave the call, this web session, we will send a link to the record, the webinar, afterwards. Okay, thank you, and my apologize for that mistake. Thank you, Philip. Okay, thank you. I'm not going to take too much time. I just want to show you another thing that so you can see how easy it is to use in Kalipso, and my presentation is also finished. I'm just going to do, it's actually two more things. I'm going to show you first how to finish this order and ask for the customer's signature on the screen, on the device. So I can use an icon that I'm going to put here. Okay. I'm going to put this icon here to finish my order. And I'm going to do something else. We also have planes in Kalipso. It's something that we can do if we don't want to always be creating new windows, new forms. So I'm also going to be showing you how to use planes. So I'm going to say that this is the base of the product, of the form. In plane one, I have these controls, and then I have other planes that I can show different things. So I'm going to say when I open the form, I want to go to plane one. We can give them names if we want to make it easier to read. And now I'm going to say, if I click here, I want to go to plane two, where I'm going to ask the user to make his signature on the screen using the draw control. And I can also put an OK button to finish. Okay, so it's very easy. I'm going to say that now when I press here
I want to save the signature that the customer made here and close the order. So very easy. I'm going to say, when I click there, I want to save the draw in what file? I'm just going to use this name here, and I'm going to call it sig order plus the current order number plus JPEG. So this will be the name of the file that will be generated. And I want to update the database and say that this order is finished, where order number equals to order number. Okay. And I want to close the window. So now, if I test the application, I can go to the tasks, finish, make the signature on the screen, and finish. And the order is done. Okay? Let's just do one more thing before we finish. Let's just send an email to the customer with a PDF file and with the image of the signature I've just done. How can I do that with Kalipso? It's very easy. I can create a new report, call it report order. We can say what type of paper we're using, if it's 2 inches, 3 inches for mobile printers, but I will use an A4, it's for a PDF. So I create a new form, a new report, and now it's like I'm using Kalipso to create a form. I'm going to drag and drop what I want to print. I want to print a label saying order delivery confirmation. Put this big. Okay. Now I'm going to put the label saying customer. Maybe smaller. And I'm going to put another for the address. Okay, so for me to show this information, I need to get it from the database. So I'm going to make a query on the database to use in the report. So I'm just going to say, select from the orders table. I want to get the name, the address, and the city from orders where the number is, I've not given names to the variable, but to the variable that I will be using to filter the date. So now I can put a dynamic field here that will display the name of the customer. I'm going to say that these are left. Okay, this is good. So this will show the name of the customer. This will show the address. This will show the city. And that's it. Now I'm going to add the products. Let's create a query for that too. Very easy. Select from the order lines the product, the quantity, maybe the name, from order lines, products, where the number equals the variable with the number, and the product equals the, I think it's called code. Okay. Finished. Now let's say I want to show a looper here for the products with a header. Let's say we have a label here, product. Let's put it smaller. And another for quantity. Right aligned. And now I'm going to put a dynamic field to show the name, okay, the name, let's make it smaller also, and show the quantity. But as you can see, it's as simple as this to create a report to print in Kalipso, right aligned, and the content will be from the products, the quantity. Okay. Okay, this is just to give you an idea. Okay. Okay, I think this is good. And to finish, I'm just going to put an image to show the signature the customer made. And since I don't remember the name, I'm just going to copy it from here, the name of the file that we generated with the signature from the customer. So I'm going to say that in this image, the content will be that here. Okay. So my report is finished. I just need to print a PDF printer. We have several printers available, but for now I'm going to use a PDF printer. Where is it? The PDF printer. Okay. So when I click on the finish button, I want to print the report order into a file named order.pdf, and I'm going to pass in the order number to filter the data. Finished. Just need to send the email, so I'm going to use send email. And I want to send an email. I'm going to send it to myself, but maybe this would be the customer email address. Text order confirmation. Here are the details from your order. And I'm going to attach a file. That's the PDF I just created. And that's it. I've generated the PDF file and sending it by email. So if I've not forgot anything, it should now work again in the Memor device. Login, George, finish, make my signature, and send an email. I forgot something. It's orders. I typed the name of the table incorrectly. Just 1 second. Let's finish. Here, it's from orders. Okay, let's test again. log in, George, finish, sign, and send an email. As you can see, the PDF is attached, the information I've just put, and if I send it, here I should receive, I don't know if this is going to work very quickly. Let me see if the mail comes quickly so you can see it. Here it is, order confirmation and the PDF file. As you can see, the information, I should have put some lines here to separate this, the customer information and the customer signature, the image from the signature I've just did. Okay, so it's really this simple to print a PDF or to print to a mobile printer device if it's necessary using Kalipso. I'm going to just ask you 2 more minutes of your time to be patient to show you something that is unique to the Memor 20 device. Let's say I want to show here to the user the number of tasks that he is still got to do. It's very easy to do it with Kalipso. I'm just going to create a service. I'm going to create a service and I'm going to create a function in Kalipso, show notification. And basically what I'm going to do is create a loop. I'm not going to go into details. And I'm going to select on the database from the orders table, the count of orders into variable count. Where the order finished equals 0. It's not finished. Okay. And I'm going to use this function in Kalipso, set service notification. And I'm going to show a notification saying Kalipso and saying orders, tasks, plus the count variable. Okay. I'm going to put a small sleep to do this every 5 seconds so we don't lose too much time here. Okay. And now when the form opens, I'm going to start a service in Kalipso because it's very easy to create services in Kalipso to show that notification. Okay. This was very fast, but let's see if it works. If I was not too fast. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but now on the second display from the Memor 20, I don't know if it's easy for you to see or not. Okay. Let's see, but you can see some text there. It says Kalipso tasks 4. Okay. So now with Kalipso, I'm controlling that second display, that the Memor 20 device. The screen is off. As you can see, the screen is off. And I'm showing using Kalipso notification to the user that he can just look at the device. He doesn't have to turn it on and see how many tasks he still has to do just by looking at the secondary display that the Memor 20 device has. Okay, it's a very cool feature from the Memor device, in that it's very easy to integrate into your applications using Kalipso. Okay, so I'm sorry for I've almost filled in the 1.5 hours, but I think I gave you a good idea of how easy it is to use Kalipso to create applications. But now I want to give some time to my friend Andrea to tell you a little bit more about the new device, Memor 20 device, and all the new features and cool features that it has for you. Okay.